Okay, I think we should start. And anyone that joins us now would just join us and continue from wherever they meet us. So, good evening once again. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, the first on in its series of four of them. We have two this month and two next month. Today we would be looking at mastering requirement elicitation, talking about the techniques and best practices. My name is Kay Ofoluwa. I am the managing partner and lead business analyst at Vertex IT and Business Management Consultants Limited, a registered company here in the UK. In today's session, we will explore some of the most effective techniques in gathering and documenting requirements, which is a crucial skill for any business analyst aiming for project success. Let me get my camera up. I believe you can see me now. So as business analysts, we often encounter projects where requirements keeps shifting or keeps moving. So today I will show you how to minimize the risk through structured and practical elicitation methods. So we'll deep dive into techniques like structured interviews, workshops, documents, analysis, and more this evening. Plus, we would also discuss practical tips and real-world case studies to solidify our knowledge. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start off with looking at the definition of requirements elicitation. How many of you have ever started a project without fully understanding what was needed, only to face issues later? That's where requirement elicitation becomes crucial. Requirement elicitation is the process of identifying and gathering requirements from stakeholders, from users, and other sources to understand what a system or a project or a product must achieve. That thing that it must achieve. That's what requirement is looking at. So you notice the two crucial actions there. Number one, identifying, and the second, gathering. Identifying means recognizing what is needed, while gathering involves activities or actively collecting inputs from various stakeholders. So for instance, we are designing a customer support system. Identifying means knowing what the customer service team needs, while gathering here means collecting input from different departments to ensure all requirements are covered. So why do we even do this thing called requirements elicitation? The purpose is to capture the needs, the expectations and constraints of stakeholders to ensure successful project outcomes. That's the simple purpose, just to capture the expectations of stakeholders, to know the constraints, that is the boundary of what they are expecting, to know what their needs are, to understand the pain points, so that we can provide a solution, we can give options, we can give solutions that meet their requirements, that meets what they are looking for from this thing. So why is this thing called requirement elicitation even important? Why is it important? Projects often fail due to poorly defined or misunderstood requirements. Effective elicitation helps to avoid rework, scope creep, and unmet stakeholder expectations. That's what requirements elicitation helps us to do. Because of these, because of poor planning or misunderstood requirements from the beginning, we get to fall into a lot of traps, like the scope creep, rework, having to do the work again, or unmet stakeholder expectations, because the stakeholder may be saying, may not even communicate in the right in an appropriate way, or in a way that it's easy for you to understand. But with the right elicitation techniques, we're able to avoid every of these pitfalls and get work done, and which at the end of the day ensures accuracy in our delivery as business analysts. So the first key technique we're going to be talking about is the structured interview. What are structured interviews? It's a formal technique where a business analyst prepares a set of predefined questions. Take note of the word predefined questions, and conducts a one-on-one or group session with stakeholders. So in a workshop, in an interview, you have, this is where you have one-to-one conversations with a stakeholder. You have your prepared questions, your predefined questions, which you get from document analysis, which we're still going to look at later on in this session. But you have these predefined questions based on some information you've gotten, and then you come to meet this stakeholder or a group of stakeholders and have one-to-one conversations with them to understand their pain points, to understand their standpoint about things, to understand what they are really looking out for. This, we use it to begin rapport, to get rapport with our stakeholders. Why do we use structured interviews? I've just mentioned one. We use it to build rapport with our stakeholders. We use it to gather specific, detailed information directly from key stakeholders, like your project sponsor or your product owner or your subject matter expert. So we use it to gather specific, detailed information directly from our key stakeholders. What are the what are the steps to conduct a structured interview? Number one, we have to prepare. In your preparation stage, you identify stakeholders that you're going to invite to the interview, or the stakeholders that you want to interview. You have to identify them. This is where stakeholder mapping comes into play, so that you know who and who to talk to. So you want to identify your stakeholders that you're going to interview. Number two, in your preparation stage, you want to develop an interview guide with open-ended and probing questions. Provide an interview guide. Don't just go into an interview without preparation. Don't go there without having pre-planned questions. Don't go there without having a structure in place. Because if you don't have a structure in place, your stakeholder, it means it's a waste of time. Your stakeholder can hijack that conversation, because there's some people that have very controlling power. They can hijack that conversation and talk about something else. So you have to go there with we have to develop an interview guide with open-ended and probing questions. Very, very important. Then you look at executing the structured interview itself, which is the second step. So you start with a warm-up questions to build that rapport. You start with warm-up questions. You'd have done your research. See whether, for example, if I'm going into an interview, I want to look at the person's. Sometimes you just check into their what do we call it, their social media handle, to see what they talk about most. Use it as a point to get them to open up. So you have to also follow the guide, but remain flexible for deeper insights. It's not because, oh, I have a list of questions, that's all I'm going to focus on. No, from asking your questions, from trying the first question, from having that rapport, you want to remain as flexible as possible. Hear some things that they have to say. Ask some other probing questions. Use the opportunity to ask other questions so that you can get things clearly. Actively listen and take detailed notes. As a business analyst, I always say it every time. As a business analyst, you always have to take notes. You always have to take notes. But remember, you're not a note taker. You're not a secretary that is just going to be writing things down. You have to be taking notes of key points that they are making, so that at the end of the interview, you can you can pick out the action points and restate it. Oh, you said this, you said that, you did this, you did that. You can send a follow-up email based on those detailed notes. I as a person, I go with this, and I go with one of these is always in my pocket, or I have another one too that is always strictly in my official bag. So you always want to have one that you can always scribble down things on, action points. Then the third stage to conduct a structured interview is your follow-up. So summarize key points, validate this with the interviewee. Analyze key points, to summarize the key points in bullet points, and then validate this with the interviewee. It may be immediately after the conversation, it can be with an email. Very important. Now, the best practices for structured interviews. Number one, use a combination of closed and open-ended questions. I've seen people make the biggest mistakes when it comes to this in time past. You want to make sure that you're using a combination of open-ended questions and also closed questions. It's very, very important. You also want to record the interview to capture nuances. But in recording, always make sure you seek their permission. Don't just go ahead and say, oh, I'm recording this session. No. Always make sure that you seek their permission, you seek their consent before you go ahead to record. What are the common pitfalls in structured interview? Number one, not preparing adequately. I've mentioned that earlier on. You have to prepare adequately, or else you will go off the agenda of that interview. Number two, leading questions that biases responses. Don't give questions don't go ahead to just be dropping questions that will make the answers of your interviewee biased. You have to be very, very careful about this. Now let's look at the second key technique, which would combine workshops and brainstorming together in this. What are workshops? Workshops are facilitated sessions where multiple stakeholders come together to discuss and define requirements collaboratively. We use workshops to get consensus. We use it to get agreements. We use it to get validations. So they are facilitated sessions where multiple stakeholders come together to discuss and define requirements collaboratively. Why do we use workshops? We use it to encourage collaboration and consensus among diverse groups. You bring different people from different departments, for example, and then you're trying to get a consensus on something. You're trying to get an agreement on something. You use the workshop. You don't use interviews for consensus. You use interviews to build rapport, to have this one-to-one conversation. You use workshops for consensus. Use for consensus. Because if you're using an interview, one person may be saying something else when you're having one-to-one with them, another person may be saying another thing. So we use workshops for collaboration and also to get consensus. What are the steps to conducting a workshop in the real sense? Number one, it's very similar to our interview. Number one, define the workshop objective. Very important. You want to go there with an agenda. Define the objective of that workshop. Select the participants representing various perspectives. You don't have to invite everybody in customer service, everybody in finance, everybody on the dev team. Just take representatives, the decision makers in those various departments. Get representatives, bring them in to have these conversations so that different perspectives can be represented. Prepare a structured agenda. Very, very, very important for a workshop, or else I promise you, you will lose it. You will lose that agenda. You will lose that session to them talking about something else. So you want to go there with a structured agenda that has time allotted to every activity. Then in executing this workshop, you want to use brainstorming techniques to generate ideas. You can have breakout sessions where people go in different groups to talk about things, and you guys come back together to then share your ideas together. You want to facilitate discussions to explore each point. Facilitate discussions to explore each point. Very, very important. Use visual aids like whiteboards or sticky notes or post-it notes, as the case, anyhow you may want to call it, to communicate. You want to use mind maps to show different representations and all. So communicate, use visuals where people can see, oh, okay, we can make use of that, we can do this, we can do that. Very, very important. And then when you are when you're wrapping up this session, consolidate ideas and identify action points. Very important, because that's what you're going to do anyways. You want to consolidate all the ideas together and identify action points. You want to go to your workshop prepared and focused on the main objective. Very, very important. In a case where you can bring in, I always say this, which is best practice anyways. I always say this every now and then. When you're going into your workshop, as a person, I look for opportunities to bring in the project sponsor most of the time, because they have the final say. So when people especially when you have very, very difficult stakeholders, the project sponsor can always bring them back into the conversation that we are having. And because they have the final say anyways. So as best practice, you want to set clear ground rules for participation. There are rules that you're going to go through at the beginning of your workshop. Tell them, oh, please put your phones on silence. This. If you want to ask questions, please raise up your hand. So that people don't just talk on each other. You want to have your ground rules on ground or available. You want to exchange. You want to encourage creative thinking without judgments. Not that someone says something and then you allow other people talk down on them. If not, you won't get the best out of that workshop. What are the common pitfalls? I've mentioned some of it already. Dominance by vocal participant. There are some people that they just like talking and they want to talk. They want everybody to listen to whatever they want to say. So when another person is talking, they want to, and that's why you have to put your ground rules. Oh, please raise up your hand when you want to talk. Oh, do this, oh, do that. So that everyone can have equal voice. There are some people that will never talk if everywhere is looking rowdy. Then you can easily lose focus without a structured agenda. So you want to be careful to make sure that you have this agenda. Is a very, very major thing. You want to move by agenda. Very, very important. The third key technique we'll be talking about is document analysis. What is document analysis in the real sense? It's reviewing existing documents to extract requirements, business rules, and process flows. Looking at the existing documents, or based on what has been documented, how can I get my Aziz process map done based on existing documents? A lot of times your current state, you draw it even before going into the initial conversations, workshops and all. Then you take it for validation. Or is this how it is actually? But based on these documents, this is what I can see. So you use documents to extract or to review existing, to extract requirements, business rules, and process flows. Why do we use document analysis? We use document analysis to understand the current states and identify gaps without directly engaging with stakeholders. So, as one of the ways you would identify a good business analyst is from documents, from things they see around. They can always, from the observations, from all these things, they can easily map out the current state of the current state of things. They can always map it out that, okay, based on this, and then based on that, you can then go into conversations that, okay, this is what I can say that is on ground at the moment. What do we then want to achieve? How do we want to go forward with this? Oh, these are the options that I think we can explore. Very, very, very important. Types of documents to analyze. 1, your business process documents. 2, project charters. 3, user manuals. 4, system specifications. These are documents we can use in getting our business rules, our process flows, our requirements. Very important. How do we conduct document analysis? Number 1, you identify relevant documents, the documents I just mentioned. So seek input from stakeholders to find key documents. Very, very, very important. 2, you want to review and extract. That is, you highlight key requirements and data points. 3, you want to validate. Cross-check with stakeholders to confirm accuracy. Very important. Don't just assume that, oh, I am done it, I'm a super duper BA, I don't need any confirmation from anybody. It is very important to cross-check with stakeholders and confirm accuracy. The 4th key technique is survey and questionnaires. What are surveys? Surveys are simply, and I'm very, very sure as business analysts that you may be, or potential business analyst, even without being a business analyst, at one point or the other, we have all made use of surveys. Either when you fill the form or you went for a program or whatever, you fill the survey. So what are surveys? Surveys are structured tools to collect quantitative and qualitative data from a large group of stakeholders. Why do we use surveys? We use surveys to efficiently, or for efficient gathering. It is very, very efficient for gathering inputs from dispersed or large audience. When we say dispersed audience, we mean people that are in different locations, different time zones. We use surveys to get this information, people that we cannot just easily gather into one location. We use surveys to get this information, to get their inputs. It's very, very efficient for gathering inputs from different from different stakeholders in different locations and very, very large number of people. Imagine trying to bring in, maybe an organization has 25,000 staff and trying to bring everybody into one location. Are you going to rent a stadium for that? So we use surveys for things like this. How do we conduct surveys and questionnaires? How do we even conduct these things? Number 1, we design. So you want to create clear and concise questions. Very clear and concise. Clear enough for anyone to be able to understand it. Anyone who says it can understand it. You're not putting technical language or technical jargons into it. Anyone who is looking at it, you understand the target audience. Make sure it is clear enough and concise for them, that they don't have to be running out, oh, who can interpret what is written here. Use a mix of multiple choice questions, open-ended questions. That's what you use, a mix of everything. There are some questions that will be open-ended so that they can express themselves. It's not all questions you can write yes or no, or put in some answers. There are some answers that they cannot be captured in your options. You also want to go to the point of distribution. Use online tools like Google Forms or SurveyMonkey to distribute these questionnaires. Ensure accessibility for all stakeholders. When we talk about accessibility, we're looking at things like font size, we're looking at things like colors that we use, because some people have color blindness. For people like that, for people that cannot easily read, we should have text to speech feature wherever we can. So you have to ensure accessibility for all stakeholders. And then when you get this your surveys back and your questionnaires back, you want to be able to analyze it, aggregate responses, and identify common themes. You want to be able to look at the trend of things based on the reply of your stakeholders. What are the best practices for surveys and questionnaires? Best practices. Number one, you have to pre-test the survey with a small group to see how it performs, or to see if there's any error in it, or if there's any mix-up around it. Then you have to keep it brief to maximum participation. To maximize participation, sorry. Keep it as brief as possible to maximize the participation, because I mean, some of us would have, I would confess here, there are questionnaires that I've opened, you say first page, second page, third page, fourth page, fifth page. After some time, I just abandon it, like, these guys are not serious. So you have to keep it as brief as possible to maximize participation. What are the common pitfalls? Ambiguous questions leading to vague responses. You want to keep your questions as simple as possible. Don't make it so ambiguous. Don't make it ambiguous at all. Then we have low response rates. If there's a low response rate, maybe, for example, out of 10,000 questionnaires that were pushed out, we got just 25 or 100 back. That doesn't represent the voice of 10,000 people. So you want, these are common pitfalls for surveys and questionnaires. Let's look at focus groups. Focus groups, although they are similar to our workshops, but in a focus group, it's a guided discussion with a small group of stakeholders to gather perceptions and opinions on a specific topic. In the case of focus group, they are for people with similar perspective of something. For example, people, maybe everyone in customer service can be a focus group, because especially for doing something that has to do around customer service, they can be a focus group because they have the same perspective. They're all looking at things from the same point of view, different from the way the people from finance look at things. People from finance may look at things like, oh, we have to look at things like reducing costs. So they don't care about the functionality of what this thing will do for the stakeholders from customer service. But customer service, because this thing is going to help their own job, they're all thinking in one direction. So focus group, what makes it different from our workshop is that focus group is for people with similar perspective or similar focus. Why do we use focus groups? We use it to obtain a range of perspectives quickly. Oh, on this thing that we are doing, how can we what can we do about it? What do you think we can add to it? What do you think we need to remove? What are the pain points for this thing? We use it to explore opinions on new ideas or product features. How do we conduct focus groups? Number one, we want to start by selection. So you have to identify a diverse group of 6 to 12 participants, ideally. But in some cases, depending on the size of your organization, it can be larger. So you have to identify a diverse group of 6 to 12 participants. Then, secondly, facilitation. You have to use a structured guide to lead the discussion. Use a structured guide to lead the discussion. Number 3, documentation. Record the session and summarize key points. Record the session and summarize key points. What are the best practices when we look at focus group? What are the best practices? Number one, encourage open dialogue while managing dominant voices. You want to encourage open dialogue while managing dominant voices. There are some people that are just very, very loud and they just want to, like I've said before, they just want to be the ones to be heard. So use open dialogue to manage them. Common pitfalls. We have groupthink leading to biased opinions. Then we have difficulty in reaching consensus. It's always in some cases it's very difficult to reach consensus because everybody is also still talking, even though they are all looking at things, and because they are all looking at things from maybe the same perspective, but people are now bringing it from different ideas. Oh, maybe as a customer service manager, you're looking at it from your own side that if this thing is done, it's going to affect my own my line management activities. As the operations one person, because you understand, because everyone then has deep enough understanding of what is going on in this thing, everybody's now looking at it from more technical stuff, so it may be hard to reach consensus. Other elicitation techniques that we'll not be able to look at this evening because of time. Number one, we have observation. We have prototyping. Observation is just about shadowing someone. It can be in form of shadowing a person and looking at what they are doing step by step. It can be informal or informal. We have prototyping. This is where we make samples. It not necessarily live samples, but it can be a sketch. We'll make samples just to see, okay, this is how this thing is going to look like. We have interface analysis. We have joint application development, which is just like a workshop too. And then we have mind mapping. We have mind mapping. Thank you for listening this evening. That's all we those are the elicitation techniques that we can use in wherever we meet ourselves, in any organization, in any environment. So I hope that you guys have learned one thing or the other this evening. The ground is now open for questions and answers. If you have any questions, if you have any answers, please, let's have it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, well done. I really enjoyed it and I gained a lot. And my question is, when you spoke about workshop, and for your own life experience, you like to bring in the sponsor into the meeting, or the C-suits. Sometimes they could be the senior management.
Yeah.
How easy, in a practical term, is it easy for you to put them into your meetings? And because they work on time, we know they are very busy and all of that. Mm-hmm. So how do you prepare that scenario? Can you walk me through it? And okay. How many workshops? Sorry. Secondly, how many workshops have you conducted inviting them? Is it 1 to 2 workshops? How do you manage all of that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I made mention during my presentation that it depends on the organization you're working. In some cases, you will never get hold of them, and you are very accurate saying that they work with time. In some cases, they will never come. In some cases, they will come. So how do you get them to come? Number one, a lot of times you may want to schedule it into their calendar. You want to schedule your workshop to where it's free in their calendar. That's the number one thing. Look at their calendar. You can work with their personal assistants if they have one that handles their schedules, because some actually block their calendars that no external person can schedule something in there. You have to go through a third party. Now, look at if you, in that kind of case, you want to work with their personal assistants to see if you can actually get them into this particular workshop. Obviously, you're not going to be inviting them to every workshop. For example, if you're working in DWP here in the UK, where they have over 300 business analysts, imagine every business analyst is trying to invite their project sponsors into meetings. It will not work out. So you want to understand the environment where you are. Is it possible? Is it not possible? And then you're not inviting them to every session. You're not inviting them to any session. You're only inviting them to where you know that you need them most. In some cases, I've had cases where I had to schedule a one-to-one interview with the project sponsor. In this case, it wasn't a project, it was a program. So with the program sponsor, so I have this one-to-one rapport and let them know that, okay, this is why I would like to invite you to this workshop. Just to explain why I'm bringing this particular person. And majorly in this case, there was no way we were going to move forward without the project sponsor. So I explained what the benefits of this, it was a female, what the benefit of our presence was going to be to these particular decisions that we needed to make. So when I brought her in, we were able to reach an agreement because she knew what she was coming for. Made it very clear right from our conversation that this is why I'm bringing you in. So you want to let them know why you're bringing them in. And that's why you have to work with agenda, because next time, if they've come there and it's just a waste of time or just them sitting down, listening to a long conversation without them having to even do anything at the end of the day, next time when you want to invite them, they will not come. So you have to make sure that it's bang on agenda. You have to make sure it's bang on time. You have to make sure that you bring them in when they need to come in. And then you ask one more question. Lavan?
Yeah.
Have I answered the question?
Yes, thank you very much. You did.
Oh, yeah, you asked the second question. I know there were two questions. Have I answered both?
You've answered it. You've answered the question. Yeah. Okay. What's your take on preparing slides for workshops? Because I know it looks more like you're not ready when you don't have something to project and show to your stakeholders. So have you had any experience where, how do you prepare your slides for elicitation and all that?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Number one, you want to understand the company where you are. You have to understand the organization where you are. Where I am right now, they don't like slides. They like using Mira board. So, so they don't like slides. So don't think about slides. They don't like slides. That's why when I'm training, I have mentees on my program. When I'm training them, they use Mira board very well. I train them how to use this collaborative tool. So depending on the organization, not all organizations do slides, but make sure you have something you're showing them.
Okay.
Always have something you're showing them. And that's where the preparation stage is key. Have something you're showing your stakeholders. Don't just bring them in, because some of them will just be like, okay, why are we here? And thankfully today we do everything most of the time remotely. Most of the environment now is remote. Even if you're in the office, it's still remote. They don't really bring you to a central to have these conversations. So you use collaborative tools like Miro. So my organization right now, we don't use slides. We don't like it. Your slide is just for documentation, which you keep in your shared folder at the end of the day. But you need to show them something. Even if it's just a process map or your process flows or diagram, or maybe some scenario analysis, just show them something to kickstart conversation, to make things clearer.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Question, you're welcome. Any other questions? Any other questions, guys? Is that all?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, go for
Thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome.
So my question is on brainstorming.
Okay.
So when you said that when you bring people into a workshop, you want to brainstorm with them so that you can reach a consensus.
Mhm.
So during brainstorming, if your organization is not using a collaborative tool
Mhm.
like Mira,
Mhm.
and you don't have a physical office where the workshop is happening,
Mhm.
which other ways can you brainstorm with your attendees?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. Number one, you're not doing anything physical. Number two, so how do you want to collaborate? At the end of the day, why are you bringing them into a workshop if you're not going to have anything to collaborate with?
You know why I asked that question? Because I've experienced that before
Mm-hmm.
when I did a workshop and the organization. So we had a Microsoft team. That
Okay.
was where the workshop happened, and we couldn't we couldn't use the sticker notes,
Okay. Why couldn't you use it?
partly because some of the attendees doesn't know how to use them,
You
and
said, you
so
said
I ended up having one dominant person who took over the
the whole
workshop and just stopped the whole session.
good.
So I kind of agree with what you said, because when you have that one person, they take it over, and then gear off with a different discussion and reflect on what has happened before and all of that, and you don't even know where you started from where you ended. So
So when you are preparing, this is where your preparation was poor. Sorry to say, but your preparation was, you didn't get it right with your preparation. In
yeah.
short, number one, when preparing, in short, even in your invite, when you're sending your invite out, let them know this, we are going to be using this collaborative tool. And if it's a tool like the mural that you already have the link, you put
Mhm.
it in the invite that this is the link for the mural board of the day. So
Okay.
they are aware of it beforehand. So when they are coming in, they should have played around it or gone to check what they need to do about it. That's one. Number two, in an environment where you know that these people don't know how to use this thing, you look for something alternative that you can use to conduct your workshop. After all, you're not the only person that will be conducting a workshop in that environment. There would always be a way they collaborate. That's why I said, even when I was answering Logan, that you want to understand the environment where you are. I want to say because I'm used to creating slides where I'm coming from, everybody has to play along with my slide creation. Oh,
Mhm.
because I'm so good with creating slides. No. If they use a tool that you yourself as a BA don't understand, you gotta learn it because you cannot even learn everything on this earth. So there are so many of them out there. So you gotta learn how to use it to make sure that, and then you have to check technical requirements. Can they access it? Oh, or is it just some people that can access this tool? You understand? So you have to tell them to, in your invites, check all these things. And that's why we also want to map our stakeholders to understand our stakeholders. Do they know how to even use these things? Is that a question, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. The other thing is with Mira,
Hmm?
um, is it open to everybody, or you have to have a paid version?
If you are in, there's a free version, but it has limited features. If you're in an organization, in the real sense, if you're in an organization, Mural should be open to everyone in that organization, depending on the if they paid for license for everyone. And then if even if it's not open to everyone in that organization, you would as long as you have gotten the license as a BA, you can always share the link to every other person. It's a collaborative tool as long as you have the paid version.
Yeah.
If it's a tool that has been approved that you can make use of, you kind of introduce users. They may just be able to join you as a guest, and I mean, you'll be the host or the facilitator, anyways. So they are able to join you as a guest and collaborate on the mirror board.
Okay.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Any other questions? I'm here for your questions. Okay, while we are waiting for questions, I want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to every one of you that joined today. We are also using this opportunity to invite you for our BA training that is coming up later in early July. We'll be starting in July, the 12th of July. It's going to be a 3 months program. We've subsidized the price massively for anyone who's going to join us. The program is majorly for aspiring BAs, existing BAs, IT professionals, entrepreneurs, career changers into tech, project managers, because we're going to literally be talking about everything. So we're going to look, we'll be mastering the essential business analysis techniques and tools during our sessions. Interestingly, we still had one of our students get an offer yesterday. Someone still got an offer yesterday, and there was someone I had mentored through the process that still got an offer last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago now? Still got an offer here in the UK. And so it's still possible. The market is really tough right now. I wouldn't say that it's not tough, but we'll prepare you for the real life, real world project experience through case studies, and would also prepare you for the exams if you want to write the exams. Very few trainers actually prepare you for exams, and we have people we've trained that prepared for exam. I'm really thankful that one of them is on the call today. In person of Ada smashed their exams. And Ada, is it okay for me to mention your super duper score?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so Ada, I think we had not even gone too much into the training when you smashed the exam now.
Yes.
I think we're just 3 weeks into the training when you smashed the exam.
Yes.
Yeah, and we are not done with foundation then when you smashed it. So Ada got 36/40 in our exam. That's to tell you, and we're not done with the training as at that point in time. So I will personally take you through this training process, prepare you for your exams. That once you get into the exams, it's really made easy. I'll tell you the whole, show you the whole, all the secrets behind that exam. You get into the exam, the only voice you'll be hearing is my voice telling you, reminding you that this thing, because the way I would am I during the training, that you see this one, put your mind to this one, it's going to come out. So because we've mastered the exam, we know what's happening there. We'll also support you with your writing your CV if you join the program, support you in writing your CV. We'll also prepare you for your interviews and also job readiness training. There are a lot of people promising all manner out there, but whatever we say we will do it. Mentorship and professional career guidance, that one you can be rest assured about that, and you're in good hands. You also get your certificate of completion to boost your portfolio. For those in Nigeria and other African countries, it's cheaper for them, and I'll tell you the reason why. Let me just say that on the call now. For those in Nigeria and African countries, for them we pegged it at 200,000 naira. For those in the UK, we're pegging, and other foreign countries, we're pegging it at £350. And the reason is this: for those in Nigeria, they wouldn't get this one-to-one help with applying for jobs. For you in the UK, you'll get that one-to-one slots to apply for jobs. Would give you your references covered even with the program, not just the reference, but I will sit down with you and show you how to go about these applications. You have unlimited reference. For those in the UK now, you have unlimited reference. If you need as many references as possible for wherever, you have that. You have the reference. You have me sitting down to even apart from we have a an HR professional on board now, who is going to look at your CV and also coach you for the interview. I myself, as a lead BA, I would coach you for interviews. That when you go to interviews, it becomes easy for you. So you have these extra perks that the folks in Nigeria and Africa may not have, and that's why there's a different price for it for those in the UK. However, we understand that the economy can be really wonderful at the moment. So we are also creating that instrumental payments plan for those that may want to explore that we have integrated it into our payment platform. So you can explore any of the payments options that we are taking as many as we can entertain in terms of payment options. So we have these live sessions running that will be running on Saturdays and Sundays. We have real life scenarios or cases that we would work with, and the way we train you. We are not one of those trainers that will just take you through theory and just leave you alone. We take you through theory and make sure you are so grounded in it, you are prepared for your exams, and at the same time prepared for real life world. There are a lot of trainers that will teach you these techniques, teach you your tools and techniques as a BA, and will you at the end of the day get into the job, you're not even able to pass your probation. That's very sad. But yeah, we will teach you these techniques, and when you get to that real life situation, you know how to actually apply it, not just you learning theory for theory's sake. So, and we don't rush our sessions. Those that have trained with me know we don't rush our sessions. If you guys don't get it, we are going back to it again. That's how we do it. So you can be very, very rest assured that you will get value for your money with us. We have this series going on and on until June the 21st. So we have stakeholder management coming up on the 24th of May. We'll be looking at building strong collaborative relationships with stakeholders. And then 7th of June, we'll be looking at data storytelling, that is transforming data into compelling narratives. Someone may say, oh, but this is not a data analysis webinar. Why are we looking at data? Well, unfortunately, in the last 5 years, data skill is a must for every BA. In short, now we are going beyond data. We are now looking into AI skills. So if you want to be a successful BA, we have to look at these data skills. You have to be experienced in it. So we'll talk about this that day. On the 21st of June, we'll be looking at navigating agile environments, the evolving role of business analysts. So we'll be looking at all this, that particular on the 21st of June. Thank you once again for joining the session today. Hoping to see you again on the 24th of May. You can follow me on LinkedIn. My name is K Ofolowa on LinkedIn. You can book a consultation session if you have any questions. If you need to look at your CVs or whatever, just book a consultation with us. You can just send an email to bookings@vertexibc.com. Bookings@vertexibc.com, or and then you get someone to reply you from there. Thank you once again. Is there any other person with any question before we close the session for this evening? All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Thank you. Bye.